Okay, first things first, my name is Kenneth Burr. My company is ILEG Technology Screens. I really wanted to get into this, but I couldn't because I had some things I had to do first that were more important. Okay, we want to talk about this weirdo at the end of the day. So first things first, our company is ILE Technology Screens. And this fellow right here is a very good friend of Jamie Fernando Gonzalez. They're actually really good friends. He mentions him quite a lot in rants that he's been sending to our office. So this guy popped up out of nowhere and started doing these rants on his YouTube channel about our company, about this, about that. And then later on, it spawned out into these really weird messages we're getting from him. I mean, some crazy rambling stuff that was going on. Like I said before, very good friends of Fernando Gonzalez. We have emails, conversations with them, having talks back and forth. He actually mentions them quite a lot in a lot of our email messages. So they are very fond of each other. We have, I said before, the message, what he has here, this isn't his address. We know that for a fact. I know his address because I've talked to his building managers, people over in the building, and the emails that we were sending over, of course, we had to have the right building and where these emails were going to. So we have a cluster of emails that were going back and forth to the building. This is not his address at all, period. That's not the high rises. I know the low rises and I know the high rises. I know someone in the low rises too, but this is not from the high rise. This is coming from a funeral home. So apparently he did what McAfee did. He took someone else's address and used it to commit crimes. I will be contacting the funeral home, letting them know exactly the situation we're having from you, who you are, where you're located at, so they can address the issue of you using their address without their permission, because that's coming up under a funeral home. This is your address, because I've been in contact with your property management over there quite a few times. This is where you're at. This is your address right here, buddy boy. I have no idea why you thought it would be a good idea. Those are low rises. Let me see here. And we know people in low rises. Let's see. This over here is the high rise. That's where you're at. I know your exact location and where you're at and your address, the whole 9 yards. Mr. Williams, we've been in contact with people in your building multiple times. So in order for those emails to go where they had to go, we would have to have the exact building. And they told us where the building was at when we had the conversation with them back and forth. So I don't know why in the world you would use the address of a funeral home to try to throw off the trail. This is why I know at the end of the day, you're not mentally all there. Now, the police report that we have to put in with Allentown, of course, with Baltimore, because you're a sexual predator. You are. You definitely are. You've been stalking us. You've been sending us weird stuff. And the activity that you're displaying is not the type of activity they should have in that building. Because, again, you may attack anything. Who knows? I mean, you're a weird guy at the end of the day. And the stuff that we received from you is really, really, really psychotic. So I don't think they should have you in this building. And because we warned them because of your activity and what we've been receiving from you over the years, and they have ignored that, we're filing lawsuits against the building itself and the individuals that were involved in taking care of the matter who didn't do so. I plan to sue them also. What in Sand Hill are you doing? Gee, where's Louise? Making all this noise over there. So as I said before, I'm suing your management. Anyone who was involved and we sent those emails over, I'm going to file a lawsuit against you because we told you from the door this guy was a potential major problem and you ignored it. And we can show the judge the amounts of emails and communications we had with you back and forth on this matter. So guess what? We warned you. You didn't listen. Now you're getting sued. So this is the building right here where Mr. Williams actually is in. And I said before, we've contacted several people in that building. I know people in the low rises, and we know you're not in there. We know that for door you're not in the low rises. So I know people in the low rises too. I've also sent over the emails over to them too. They can see the interesting pictures you're sending over. This is very disturbing. And what's written on the back of it, so this is Mr. Williams right here. Daryl Franklin Williams, the YouTuber. This is him right here. And this is the weird pictures he started sending us. So he started sending me weird sexual messages about having sex with me and stuff like that. And that's the reason why now we have it in a situation now where you're now going to be registered as a sex offender, because you're going out sending people pictures such like this. This makes you a very creepy individual. And the fact that we warned your building multiple times about what type of person you are, and they ignored it, they put the lives of other people in that building in danger. Any small kids walking up and down the hallway, any young boys walking up and down the hallway, I'm pretty sure you don't want somebody like this living next to you writing weird stuff like this. Oh, it gets worse. Trust me. Where's those emails at? Here we go. Get the emails. So we got a stack of stuff to take over and get this thing started. And that docket number, which is going to basically charge him with sexual harassment, there's a whole lot of stuff we're going to put on there, will basically put you into the category as a sexual predator. This is the evidence we have against your building to sue them. Yeah, it's all you. It's all from your building, all of it. So that lawsuit, Mr. Williams, is going to cost your building millions and millions of dollars, a lot of money. And if they want to walk it into court, what do you call it, out of court, it's going to cost them so much money, it's not even funny. So we can show proof that you harassed me, you were stalking me, and even started sending me sexual pictures of yourself, half naked, inside the apartment building, that we warned that how you had all these issues. That's like somebody on Facebook writing about how they don't like a certain race, and they're showing off firearms and weapons and explosives and stuff. Literally, you're showing that you're a very dangerous individual, and you should not be in this building around other people. Disturbing emails. We know you showed you these before, but these are disturbing emails we could receive from Mr. Derrick Williams. And guess what? That email account was pinged back to the building. Yep, right there. We'll post all this. So we warned this building multiple times. Now they said they have the best safety and concern for their tenants. I don't think they do. Because first things first, you have to do a background check to make sure you don't want individuals into a building that could cause potential harm to the other tenants. And when you got people showing up this kind of activity, and mind you, we sent them the emails over and they ignored them. So Mr. Daryl, I think your name is, if I got it correctly or not. But anyway, I can show multiple emails of us having conversations back and forth and you doing nothing about it. So guess what? I'm filing a lawsuit against you. And buddy boy, I'm explaining to you, I don't care how much you make in a day. You can't cover this one at all, period. I'm going to make you penniless when I get done with you. Because we gave you fair warning. I told you what was going to happen to you if you didn't carry this through. And you're going to be penniless. You're literally going to be homeless. And you have whatever you have, we're taking it. Now it don't make a difference. I don't care. Because we warned you and told you about this guy in the day. On top of that, we're going to put a complaint against your building itself. Because I'm going to show them the interesting literature we've been receiving from one of your tenants. So filing a complaint against your entire building. I told you at the end of the day, we gave you a chance out of this mess. Get him out of the building. And you kept him in there. And what you kept in your building is a very dangerous individual who's having very weird psychotic thoughts and sending over a psychotic email. And this is bothering me. It's no threat to me at the end of the day. But this is a big concern to your building at the end of the day, because your job is to keep your tenants safe. And your job is to make sure that when you find activity like this firing off on in your building, is to get rid of it before it turns into something extremely dangerous. And you let it slide. So this is going to cost you money. So I'm going to hit your building, sue that, and then I'm going to sue you personally. And anyone else, or their staff that was involved in this, when those messages were going through, we were contacting you, you got lawsuits coming your way. So, Mr. Williams, all you did was just get me paid. That's all you did. Oh, and yeah, that's the address. We're going to be posting the address, the building, everything, the whole 9 yards. We warned you and told you about this guy at the end of the day. Also, too, we have to file for, well, they're going to put him on several lists showing that he has, for stalking and weird naked, half-naked pictures, and dude, seriously, this is sad on so many levels. That is really sad. That guy has so many mental problems, it's not even funny. And mind you, don't forget, Fernando, this is one of Fernando's friends. Because he mentions his name multiple times in all these messages. As a matter of fact, he feels like a protector to Mr. Fernando. So Fernando, your name will be added to the police report. So as we go into the police report, we'll let them know that you and him are very good friends. You know each other. You have messages. You responded in your behalf. So you'll be added in with this. Another charge filed against you. And this is the reason why, Mr. Fernando, it's my best interest on Monday morning to contact the FBI to begin the process of getting that order, that control number, activated as fast as possible. Because you are a dangerous person. And now we have to make sure that you're taken off the streets. And these are the kind of people that you influence at the end of the day to attack other people. Then I think it's time we have you taken off the streets. So I'm going to add all this in with your new docket on your report, and with the control number we have, we'll contact the FBI, let them know about your situation and your whereabouts, so we can get all that taken care of. This guy right here is creepy as creepy can get. But he gave out the address to a funeral home. So he tried to do the same thing McAfee was doing. Again, why would you even do that, knowing that we already talked to somebody in your building? And there are people in the building who came at him and scolded him. I guess they're probably scolding him, telling him not to do this, that, and the other. I think it's going to be very interesting that the tenants are going to find out in these lawsuits that you allow this individual to be walking up and down their hallways while their kids and women were walking up and down along with this person, not knowing the psychotic behavior he was doing in his apartment. And you guys let that slide knowing this? So that's a fact that's going to get them sued. They knew 100% of what he was and did not do anything about it. No plea deal, guys, at the end of the day. No plea deals. I am going to sue the daylights out of you. And my lawyer on the other end is laughing his head off because he's like, oh man, you've got to be kidding me. This is it's a candy store. It's easy open and shut lawsuit. We got tons of emails going to their accounts, to their building management, leasing office, going back and forth to them, conversations, telling them the psychotic nature of this individual, and they ignored it. And now this right here, this is it. This is all it took. It's the only thing we need, right? This is what did it, right here. This is going to look really bad for your building. Very bad for your building. I got to find out who's involved with the rest of this unit over here at the end of the day. We need to find out exactly shareholders. I know there's people involved in this with the city and all that. So they're going to be reaching. When the lawsuit goes through, they'll trigger off a lot of heads. But that building management, that one particular one I had a conversation with, I am going to make this personal about you, my friend. I am going to sue the living daylights out of you because I told you. Had a conversation with you multiple times on the phone. My cell phone records would show that our phone, we're talking back and forth. This shows basically our text messages and everything back and forth of us having a conversation about this individual. And I told you the dangerous individual. And what's going to take next? Somebody go missing in the hallway, some kid go missing, somebody getting beaten or raped. That's what's going to take from this sicko that's sitting in your apartment right now that you guys are refusing to handle at the end of the day. I'm going to tell you something today. That joker touches anybody in that apartment complex, you're going to have a problem on your hands. I guarantee you somebody's going to handle it. This guy's a sicko. It should not be in that apartment. Matter of fact, he shouldn't even have a YouTube channel. And mind you, keep in mind, this is the same individual claiming to be a minister. A minister. Yes. He claims to be a minister. Ripping off people, stealing money from people. He claims to be a minister. Let's see. So, your real address, we have your real address. That's your real address right there. That's the high rise. So the people in the low rise, the people who had the conversation with you, we'll be sending this out to them. These emails will be going out to every branch in that building. Also, too, with a nice letter behind it, let them know that we are filing a lawsuit against the unit. Because you had a tenant. Now, keep in mind, see if the guy was in there They didn't know. They're just now finding out this for the first time. We can't sue them. We got to give them a chance to do something about it. That's what happens. Give them a chance to do something about it. So we can't rush out and sue them at all. We have to work with them. Now, if we work with them and nothing happens, they don't do anything at all, period, and it gets worse, he starts sending over half-naked pictures, now lawsuits come up. That's what happens next. So that's what the last thing I told the building management. I said, you do know you're responsible for this, right? And he said, yes. All right, then. You know what's coming. No plea deal, my friend. We don't do plea deals. We give you plenty of time to work it out. You don't do and at the end of the day, we sue you for everything you got. Man, I tell you, easy. This gets easier. I'm telling you, just give us ammo left and right. My buddy pinged his email address. It came back to the building's Infinity server, so we know exactly your network connection. We know exactly who your internet provider is. Everything came up. There you go. There's Mr. Williams right there, claiming to be a minister right there. That's another charge on top of that. He was taking money from people. He was scamming people. Who knows how many people he might have scammed inside that building. Good gracious, that's the worst person you want to have near your kids, right? At the end of the day, a person, not, I mean, worse than worse, people have a fear of having people at the church. It's a shame because people do so much wrong in that field. It really is. It makes the good ones look bad. He makes the good ones look bad. But he's not even a minister. That's what makes it even more scarier. He's not a minister. He's not any of those things. He's a fake. He doesn't even have that ability. No documents, no paperwork, nothing. So imagine him going around posing like he has a church and he's supposed to be a man of God and he's doing weird stuff like that. And that's the sad thing about it, is because people of the church, if they're doing crooked things, this is where people will trust their kids to be around due to the fact that's a person from the church. This person it's not even that. He's nothing. And yet he's doing weirdo stuff like this. But it's creepy as creepy can get. Well, Mr. Williams, lawsuit coming your way, and your building, and your managers. That's why that guy talked, the person when we talked to him, he said we're sending the packages down, and he sat there and said, I got nothing to do with this, and left. He's a smart man. I hope he left the building. But the rest of the crew that was in there, I will have your names and your information, and I'll get ready to file lawsuits against you because we warned you. I think there's a woman at the desk, she was a secretary or whatever. I will be filing a lawsuit against you as soon as we get all your information figured out exactly everything that's going on in that building. Because right now, that individual is a danger to your building and a danger to the tenants in there. When we get done the criminal reports and all that, well, we'll go from there. I'll see you in court shortly or soon or whatever this comes up, but I will be suing you. And we're taking it to federal court, so it will be in the millions. Jeez, we can't get any more easier than that. Told him and warned him. Warned him. That's the thing about it, as I said before. We couldn't file a lawsuit. We had to give him a chance to try to fix the mess. We had to give him that chance, and we did. And all that email that's bouncing back and forth to their building, going to his account, the manager, going to his account. We had his personal email. That's what it was going to. Because the regular email for the building wasn't working. So it was going to his email. And he was basically sending us back telling us that, yeah, it's being taken care of and blah, 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 blah. And all these phone calls were having back and forth. And they did nothing about it. You should have did something about it. Now we can sue you. With those pictures right there, oh, that's an open and shut case. We can clearly show that the person you have in your building was stalking us and has some kind of weird sexual desire toward me. But not only that, from the weird and creepy emails we received, and on top of that, the fact he was taking half-naked pictures of himself and sending them to an office building at that. Not someone's address, a company's building at the end of the day. The thousands of emails we received from him showing unhealthy behavior, and we warned you and told you this person is extremely unstable, and you allowed this person to stay in your building knowing he was unhealthy like this. Which means you put your tenants at risk. That's the same address. It shows up on every single one of the envelopes. He tried to switch it up this time. He tried to use somebody else's address. It came up under a funeral home. I'll be contacting the funeral home and letting them know about the situation we're having Mr. Way and pointing them in the direction of the building, letting them know exactly what kind of person you are, who you are, and basically so they can also contact your building also. So this ain't gonna go well. Now, for the property management or whatever the building, don't reach out to me. I got nothing to say to you. I spoke to you already. I tried to resolve this issue before it got to this point, and you basically did nothing about it. So you don't speak to me anymore. I'll see you in court. Gave you opportunities, you don't take it. Next time somebody gives you an opportunity, you better freaking take it next time. This is going to cost you dearly. On top of that, you see that low rating you have right now? It's about to drop by a lot when we're done with you, because I'm going to have this all through the court system. Warned you and told you. What's next? You get somebody in there in your building basically showing off firearms next? And you go, oh no, that's no problem. We just blah, 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 blah. Let's let that go past. Yeah, you got to crack down on nonsense like that at the end of the day. You put a lot of people at risk having that nut job in your freaking apartment complex. It makes me think at the end of the day, did you even do a background check on this guy? Gee, I really think they should start making people take psychiatric evaluation tests before you can enter into an apartment. Because you have to understand, there's a lot of kids in there. There's a lot of young ladies in that apartment, and you got this weirdo doing that nonsense at the end of the day. And you can sit there and say, well, it was only toward... It doesn't make a difference, Mr. Bueno. It doesn't make a difference if it's only toward me. It's the fact that you showed that kind of activity to begin with. Knowing you're supposed to be an adult and you're supposed to know the difference between right and wrong. Knowing you're supposed to have common sense at the end of the day on how to carry yourself as an adult. And you did none of those above. That action you just showed it in the day makes you a high risk for that apartment complex over there. And basically it questions on should you be around these people at the end of the day, because you could have ever thoughts that pop up in your head that can trigger the worst things. And that's what happens when people show that kind of psychotic behavior. It leads to worse stuff. So you need to be removed, and with that nonsense and then we just showed, they may file charges against you to try to make themselves look good. And which I'm going. So, these pictures and stuff, we got them loaded up on the PC. I got the different agencies when we sending them out to, with a letter letting them know that we're filing a lawsuit against them. I will be following with the Baltimore police. I'll follow up with them, showing them the activity we have from you over here, of you sending these naked pictures to our office building. And I will be also, too, filing these charges with FBI and also, too, with Allentown Police. So we can have a docket number, something on record, showing that this was filed against you. And yes, you'll have to register as a sexual predator, because that's what you are. Weirdo. Absolute weirdo. It's the building. Now, for the people in the building, did you feel the need that I slandered you? No. Well, we told you about what this guy was. We've been contacting our business at the end of the day. When you feel the need that I slandered you in any way and made your building look bad, now you made your own building look bad. We told you exactly, we sent over emails, we told the person had all the tendencies of a stalker. You ignored it and did nothing. So I'm going to drag that building into the mud. And nothing you can do about it. Not a thing. Because we warned you, we told you. And you did nothing about it. Which means you put anybody in that building, you put them at risk. That's exactly what you did. So that's your fault in the day. So, will you put down your review? We'll put down our review. You're not going to like it, because I'm going to post. I'm going to post the activity that we received from a tenant in that building, and I'm going to post it to your review page. And any other review page that on that building, we're going to register, put all that information in there. All the docket numbers from the police, the letters we got from this guy, and multiple times we told you and warned you about this fellow. So your review is going to be a little interesting for the next couple months. And you can sit there and go, oh, but he slandered. How would I slander you? Everything I said is true. I got the evidence right here in front of me. We even sent it to you. And you did nothing about it. So it is what it is. And in between that time, I'm going to sue you. Now, am I upset over this? No. You freaking kidding me? We're going to get paid. They messed up big time. They messed up big time. The fact that we were telling them and warning them about this and told them, yo, you need to get this guy out of your building, that he has some mental issues, and they did nothing about it, and then we got them weird, creepy pictures from him. Oh, yeah, we're done. Thank you so much. Ooh, burrito. I got the perfect lawyer for it, too. So, open and shut case in court. That's what it's going to be. And Mr. Williams, you're going to have, man, I'm telling you, your freedom is over, man. You're definitely going to jail. Man. What I find more interesting is the people on the YouTube channel that supported his nonsense, that thought he was normal, that we told you there was something wrong with him. You can hear the way he talks, there was something wrong with him. We told you this. And you went in there and said, hey, you're doing a fantastic job, and blah, 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 blah. What does that say about your intelligence level at the end of the day? Man, you guys mess up on so many levels. What do you think him and Rogers were arguing about? Must be something pretty bad. Rogers went on it, blew up on him. Imagine if he doesn't even mention him at all. So they must have picked up he wasn't all there. Him and Jamie are friends. I'll tell you a lot about your boy Jamie at the end of the day. See, you are what you are with the company you keep. You ever heard that term before? If you're hanging around with thieves, you're a thief. Why would you want to keep that kind of company? Jamie's circle has all basically people that are not mentally stable. And that guy right there, Jamie's friend. He mentioned Jamie multiple times in emails. Yep. So, that being said, Fernando, you're going to get pulled into this too. So, I'm going to piece and follow this. Your information is going in, your address, all that stuff. On Monday morning, I'm going to push your control order. I'm going to contact them and say, look, we got a person who's been a bad influence. He's been telling other people this, that, which you did do. And this guy right here, his case is going to show, his little docket number is going to show up. And your name's all in it. So we need to have you picked up right away. We have to push to have you picked up. We need somebody, Homeland, whatever the heck they got to get to today. We need them on your property. We need you taken away right away. And you're a dangerous person. If you're going around whatever you said to him to make him react that way to us, that's what got you in trouble. We must have said something to him because he didn't know. We didn't know him. We don't know who he is. Jamie said something to him to make him react to us. So Mr. Fernando, that means you're responsible. And then Mr. Williams goes into the lockup, that's what he's going to do. He's going to basically confess it. You told him things about us. And that's going to bring you into the picture. And that's what I mean by at the end of the day, that you are the worst Mexican I've ever met in my entire life. You're a bad name to your own people at the end of the day. I'm going to make sure we get rid of you, Mr. Gonzalez. I'm going to make sure I get ICE right there at your front door to get you. You know why? You don't deserve to be here. You don't. And you want to sit there and pull that race card nonsense today? No, Karen. Take that nonsense someplace else. The only people that have a right to complain about that are the people that are here trying to do the right thing. You're not trying to do the right thing here. You're making us look bad. You're making the country look bad. You're making your own people look bad. They're trying to make it here. You're not. You're just trying to be here, just trying to carry on trouble, rip, scam, whatever you can get away with. I'll guarantee that control order I have there, I'm going to push that thing to the roof Monday morning. I'm going to explain to them all the problems we've been having from you. I'm going to call in and let them know at the end of the day where your address is at and where to come pick you up at. This will be another police report we can put in and add to this, showing that you basically influenced this guy and And whatever weird stuff you told him at the end of the day is the reason why he's acting like this toward us. Now, he's responsible for his own action, yes, but Jamie initiated that nonsense. So, Fernando, bye-bye. And as for this guy, well, definitely bye-bye. Man, I'm telling you, almost a file thick. Let's see the rest of the pictures and posters. Ooh, yeah, creepy guy, man. Look how weird this guy is, man. You can't get any more weirder than that. He is a sicko. And don't even care. Just send pictures to the mail just like it's of himself. It's a postcard at that. It's not even a freaking in an envelope. He didn't even try to hide it. That tells you how creepy he is. And that's another thing they got to worry about this Joker in that building around anybody. He didn't even try to hide it. He sent it to the mail like that. Only difference is he didn't stick his address on there. He stuck a company's address on it. We got your real address right here, buddy. We got your real address right on the envelope. So, Monday morning, you're going to receive your pictures and everything. The rest of the docket's in, we'll be going through. And then I'll be letting them know at the end of the day that we'll be seeking this all suit. It's the building and the managers. Any managers that were involved on the floor when we're having these conversations back and forth, you're getting sued. And if you say we can't sue you, oh, yes we can. Because here's the thing. You are responsible for the tenants in the building. And if we clearly told you that this person was a danger and you did nothing about it. That's like if this person walked down the hallway and he killed somebody in that hallway. You are responsible for that. If people clearly told you that he's a danger and he attacked someone in that building or hurt someone, and they find out you were told ahead of time that this person was dangerous and you did nothing about it, you're responsible for it. Oof, man. Weird. Every other reason why he rides on that bike all day. Gee whiz, how do you get your stomach hang out that far? That's nasty. That is definitely nasty. I'm sorry, but you gotta work out. Well, he got plenty to work out. He's gonna be inside. He'll have plenty of time to work out. He's gonna need it. Because people like that have those kind of records, those particular records, they're different types of records. When you come in there with any form of sexual assault or stalking, whatever, your records are a little different than everybody else's. So, yeah, we're going to have problems in there. This is supposed to be a preacher? A minister? We try to come up under the low rises, but we were able to contact somebody in the low rises. And they said, no, he has to be over in the high rises. So that's when we contacted over in the high rises, and I gave your name out, and the guy says, we know who he is. And he asked me about the apartment. I said, yeah, well, the apartments you'll have in there has a big balcony on one side. There's a dinette area there, and then it leads to a kitchen on that side. And he said, oh, yeah, that's our place. Yeah, it is your place. It is. So the fact that they already addressed you in that building, and we've been in contact with them, and they told us this, means at the end of the day, Mr. Williams, we know where you're at. Why would you try to bother using somebody else's address? Now we got to go to a couple of review sites, which I'm going to post all the problems and all the weirdo stuff that goes on. That's a shame because other people, probably some very nice people in there, but they need to get you out of the building because you're making the building look bad. On top of that, any chance of any, like I said, single African Americans getting me a chance to be able to be in that building, you have taken that away. Now there's another address here. I want to look this address here. 4-2. This is another address he used without permission. That's not his address. We know now. Because now that we got a chance to talk to the property management in the building, we know where he's at. Well, let me see. This is the real address. That's another fake address. It was a community hall he was messing around with, and he was using that's where kids go to play. He was using that address too. Oh yeah. Let me pull this one up. Let me see. This is definitely one of the other ones. Yeah, I don't think they don't like the fact that you're doing stuff like that in there. And that definitely does break your lease, by the way. Matter of fact, the stuff you did already broke your lease and they let it slide. So that's going to cost them money. So I'll have to look into the insurance and see what that building's worth. I know it's worth quite a bit, but it's not going to cover what we're going to hit. Pretty sure it's not. Because you got mental stress, mental anguish, I had to see a psychiatrist. That paid me a lot of money. Got to pay for my psychiatrist, all that stuff. You got to pay for it. Let me see. My family's going to jump on board with that because you contacted them and they're suing. So, yep. Let me see. Everything happens for a reason. Oh, that's right. Okay, I see right here. Right there. Wally. Street. Let's see. Now, mind you, it'll go on public record, Mr. Williams. And what we're charging you with in the public record is cyber stalking and sexual crimes. That's what you're being charged with. So that'll be in public domain everywhere. Means if you get out, mind you, got the charges coming up, but if you get out, the cyber stalking carries 20 years. If you get out, then you'll have to register as a sex offender, which means you cannot be in any schools or any places like that because of what you have on your record. Sex offender, yep. And there could be a couple reasons why Danny now, I can see why, might have basically got rid of this guy because he probably could have showed creepy tendencies toward him also too. And I'm not taking Danny's defense because again, like I said, we don't care. We're suing Danny anyway. It don't make a difference. But judging by what I just witnessed at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure he probably saw the same thing too. Guy's pretty creepy. The only person that didn't have a problem with him is Fernando. So that tells you a lot right there. So this is a senior citizen building. He was using their address. So I'll be reaching out and contacting them all. So I want to make sure we reach out to these buildings and make sure we have your docket number from the police department, docket number from the Baltimore Police Department, make sure we have a docket number from the FBI, so all that's included, and we can send these documents and all this information to these particular areas we've been using their address and sending weird stuff. But in a couple of the addresses he wrote down, he put his raw address down. That's how we were able to find him. So that's definitely not you. We know that for a fact. Let me see what's on this one right here. See how many of these we have. He was using his addresses without their permission. Ooh, man, this is another one. So we got to reach out to these people and let them know what's going on and where they need to go file their complaint to and who they need to contact. So building management, I think his name is Daryl. I think it is. You're going to receive some very interesting phone calls because your buddy's been using a lot of other people's addresses to tell you the truth. Oh, by the way, extending theft, you know that, right? This is the other one that came up underneath this one. This came up under a funeral home. Let me see. 117 is right there. So that came up on the card. This is a funeral home. So we'll have to reach out to them and let them know that someone's been using your address to commit a crime. All these addresses have to be docked in with the police. Let's see. Where are you at? Here we go. That's the address right there. It's a funeral home. So he used the funeral home's address. This is on the recent cards you received. Mr. Williams, I gotta ask you a question. How stupid are you? I asked that question. We know where you're at. We literally have talked to people in your building. We know people in the low rises. We know people in the high. I know your building management. You're leasing all. I know all of them over there. I've talked to them about you. At the end of the day, why in the world would you think that using someone else's address now that we know where you're at would help? All this did was get you in trouble. So now we got to contact them to let them know that your address was used into committing crimes as you basically stalking us. How dumb can you be? There you go, a funeral home. He used a funeral home. He used their address. Well, I'll be in contact with them Monday morning. I'm pretty sure we'll have a nice conversation. And you're not too far from there. From where that building's at, your building's not that far. So I'll make sure they get your proper address and all the people that are involved in that building on exactly where to file their criminal report at. And they're in Baltimore. You know that, right? So it's going to make it easier for them to prosecute him. So we got 2 buildings right now. And we got some rec center. I think the rec center is part of their unit. He used that building also too. Alright, buddy. It's about as creepy as they get. Let me tell you that right there from the door. As creepy as they get. It's going to be easy to paint a picture of you on how dangerous you are to the other people in that apartment building. Because like I said, if I knew this creep lived next to me at the end of the day, there's no way in the world I'd let my kids walk out of that park. I'm going to let them walk near his place as I'm with them. No way in the world. Imagine living next to that. Sending pictures all over the internet. Sending pictures and postcards. He didn't even cover it up. Living next to something that creepy. You wouldn't dare let your kids walk near that guy's apartment. You would give him looks all day like, yeah, I wish you would. And then he's coming off as a minister. He's trying to say he's a person of God. That makes him far dangerous right there. Extremely dangerous. You gotta be careful, man. You can't have your kids and young men around people at the end of the day. You gotta be careful. You gotta watch everybody. You gotta watch everybody. You gotta pray, because you never know who's the wolf in sheep's clothing. You gotta pray, because you never know who's the wolf in sheep's clothing. Perfect example of the most creepy person. I say so far in my line of business, he'd be the creepiest person I've ever met in my entire life. On YouTube. Can't have your kids going out and talking to everybody. You can't. Now somewhere he's somebody's neighbor. I hope they don't have kids over there. I hope they don't have any young ladies over there. I hope they don't have any young men over there walking up and down them hallways, and you got that weirdo in there. And at that, the building itself, the office, the apartment complex itself ignored when we mentioned to them multiple times about this individual, about how weird he was and the weird emails he was sent to us. As a matter of fact, we sent those letters over there and they ignored it. Now you're in trouble. Got to call himself minister, brother and Derrick, and doing stuff like that. That's Satan right there. That right there, people, you look at that picture, that is a man that follows the devil right there. Look at that. That's a man that follows the devil. And that's supposed to be a minister right there, calling himself a minister. And that's what he's doing. Out there in his underwear, showing pictures of people, talking about how he's in love with somebody, he want to hold them in their arms, all that nonsense. Look at that. Let's put this right here. You don't like it, buddy, at the end of the day, that's you. That's what you did to yourself. Now, we got a site we posted to called a blacklist. It's on the blacklist. It's going on the blacklist for everybody to see. And my blacklist hits Google. It goes global. Which we're going to explain the apartment unit you're in. We're going to explain the multiple conversations we have with the unit and the managers that were involved, that we basically contacted and told at the end of the day that you need to be removed from the building, that you had all kinds of psychotic issues, and you allowed the building, they allowed you to stay. So, welcome to the blacklist. Even worse than that, soon a judge is going to see that. That's going to end up on a judge's table. How do you think that's going to turn out? Not going to go well. I'm going to leave that right there for a minute while I take care of some business. So that way you can get a chance to absorb all this in. How creepy this guy is. So anyone subscribing to that channel at the end of the day, we know exactly what you're all about. And he has what? 1,500 and something subscribers? So that's just a lot about people that subscribe to that channel. There you go. I'm gonna leave that right there. I'll take care of yourself. And what are you gonna do, Mr. Williams? You're gonna sit there and say at the end of the day, oh, it's defamation? No, it ain't defamation. You did it. Stop being a Karen at the end of the day. You did it. That's what you did. You went out and you sent pictures to our office building like that on a postcard at that. That makes it even more creepier on a postcard. Which means you had no shame of anything. And then try to use somebody else's address so they can be blamed for that. What if somebody saw that and thought at the end of the day that that was the person who actually owned that business? What happens if that happened? Imagine if he sent those cards to somebody and it went to somebody's home. And somebody saw that. Their kids picked it up and brought it to them. They would think that the person who that address came from, that was that person right there. That could get somebody killed. Now say that happened in Baltimore. And say somebody had picked that up and saw that their child brought that to them. That person could go to that address and hurt somebody who had nothing to do with this, because that sicko at the end of the day thought it'd be a slick way to hide his dirty deeds by blaming it on somebody else. And that's what you did. That's why some criminal charges involved in that, because you could have gotten somebody killed. It's not that it didn't happen, it's the fact that it could have happened. And you can be charged for that. If no one didn't know better, they would have thought that was somebody who came out of that business who did that. And that could have hurt that person's company. Somebody could yelp that, put some information out there, and that person knows exactly what's going on. Like, what the freak is going on? Why is everybody thinking I'm... Yeah, you could have really hurt somebody down someone's business that way. But this guy don't care at all anyway. He's a sicko. So that's why I want to make sure that it goes directly to you and to you only. It goes directly to your building and your building only. That's why I'm posting this, Mr. Williams, so the people in your building get the full credit for basically allowing you to stay in the building, and we can see you're talking about that building supposed to be an outstanding building at the end of the day. You let those kind of creepos in there? We're not doing background checks anymore? And even when you have substantial evidence that's given to you, you just let it slide for that stuff to fester into something far worse? So what's it going to take? Somebody go missing in the building for you to look into getting that mess taken care of? I had to contact them also too about Fernando's printing press and his apartment complex, which literally is a hazard. Because messing around with all those chemicals you have in there, you're going to blow half of that building away, and that's going to be a lot of blood on somebody's hands. He don't care at the end of the day, because all Fernando cares about is money. He don't care about anybody else. So I have to have license inspection go through this unit. Because we have to put in an emergency complaint against the building. And that's going to fire up the landlord. Because he has a full-size, about a good size tabletop in there. He doesn't have, I'm sorry, not tabletop. Tabletop's the smallest one. He's got a table 3D printer in there. So we saw those aerosol cans in there, stacked in there like that. There's a good chance he has chemicals in there too like that. And you're operating that press in a small area like that, yeah, that stuff is toxic and poison. Mess around, give yourself cancer and everybody else in that building cancer that are close enough to that unit. That's dangerous to have that thing in there. You can't have those things in there like that. Anyway, we got some people to call. Unbelievable. We get French fry. They do the dumbest stuff you could ever think of on the face of the planet, and then when it comes down, oh, they did it out of hatred. Nobody, nobody do anything out of hatred at the end of the day. No, you do dumb stuff. This is what happens when you do dumb stuff. It's called cause and effect. Go rob a bank, you get locked up. It's not dumb stuff to get locked up. It's dumb stuff that you went out and did it to get locked up. Know the difference between the two? Good gracious, crack a book, go back to school. My goodness, it definitely ain't all together. I can't wait to send it to your social worker. Oh, did you do? I like that one right there. Yeah, it's going to a social worker. With the police reports and all that. We're going to file a claim against you for basically being a sexual predator and stalking me, making mentions of raping me. This is going to be on your file. Which means when we file the report, they're going to scan this into the system. It's going to be everywhere. Every police docket, it's going to be on there. I'm going to send that right to the social worker. Going back to your building. Low rises, high rises. I'm going to reach out to those two buildings at the end of the day to use their address without permission and show them the content you've been sending out using their address. I don't think they're going to like that. I think they're going to contact. And I'm going to give the building management, buddy boy, I'm going to let them have your email. So they can reach out to you. All your information. I think they're going to file a lawsuit. I'm going to tell them that we're filing a lawsuit. So I know they're going to file a lawsuit. So now instead of having one lawsuit, you could have multi lawsuits hit the building. And that could be the termination of your job. Because you let something go. And you could have handled it and taken care of it, but you didn't. So he might be losing his job in the process and getting sued. See? Gotta listen. Alright. Well, people subscribe to that channel. You just subscribe to a pedophile at the end of the day. A creepo. A sexual pedophile. That's what you basically just subscribe to. So anyone that's subscribed to that channel, you're a part of that nasty nonsense. That's what you support. You support that mess at the end of the day. What are you doing in them wires? What are you doing over there? What are you doing? Rock it up? I'll get out of there. We're done for that. Alright, gotta go. Oh, Mr. Williams, you get up there and say at the end of the day that I am not the person. Oh, please. Give us all a break. We're all looking at your weirdo picture at the end of the day. Right next to your account, calling yourself a minister, brother, and Derrick. Creepo. Absolute creepo. For the people who subscribe to this channel, I would suggest you unsubscribe. Unless you want to basically be labeled as being a part of somebody who does this kind of weirdo stuff at the end of the day. You guys see this. Yeah, this creepy nonsense. Had a nerve to put in. Where's that mouse? Oh, wrong one. I don't know why that's not working. Had a nerve to put in. This channel is dedicated to getting people to put God and Jesus first. In their life. I want everyone to walk with God and Jesus. Come worship with us. See, this is the reason why people have a hard time trusting people at the church. This is why. This is why ministers that are out there doing the right thing are the ones that got to work so hard at it, because people like this, creepy people like this, that steal from God and have these weird, who knows what kind of crazy stuff he got going on him. I'd be terrified for the person, FBI agent, that got to check his freaking search history. I feel sorry for them. Asking people for donations, so asking for money. Got to call himself a reverend. Put a money symbol next to it. And doing creepy stuff like this. Well, put you on a watch list. I'm about to put you on a watch list pretty soon. Yep. So when I get all that information back from the police and all that, I'm gonna put them on a watch list. I'm gonna ping your address. You know exactly where you're at. Yep. Warn people in your neighborhood about what kind of person is in that apartment complex. Warn people in the apartment complex what kind of person you are. But I think they should know. If I had somebody this creepy living next to me, I would want to know too, because there's no way in the world, if I'm walking out the door, I'm going with my kids every day. I'm walking out there every day with them. You looking the wrong way, I'm knocking you out. That's what's going to happen. You got to know at the end of the day, I mean business. And every father is going to feel like that in that building. If you look at them any way whatsoever, they're going to come over and handle that situation because they need to put you in your place right away before you get any thoughts. That's about as creepy can be. Man took a picture of himself in his drawers and sent it over to us. How creepy can that be? And then use a funeral home's address to commit the crime. Yeah. And that's the kind of people that they support. And I'm saying that all people, no, not all people, probably because I'm very nice people, and I met some people and they were very nice. It's just unfortunately they got these kind of creepy people in there that don't need to be in that building. So all my daughter would have to say if I had kids there, my daughter did one time is you said hello and you're getting knocked out. That's all too. I'm coming over and kick your door and come get you. This mess right here, yeah, definitely. Creepy. Trust that second here, school zone. That's some creepy stuff right there. Ugh. You need to be carrying that bike, man. Look at that gut at the end of the day. Gee whiz Louise, man. You don't need to be riding around on nothing, man. You pick that, man, don't forget, that's the least of your troubles right now. You got bigger troubles right now coming your way. That is a creepy guy right. And his drawers. Taking pictures and it's freaking. You can tell that's a door from the inside of that apartment right there. Creepy guy. Look at that. Nuts. Creepy. Supposed to be a minister of God. Yeah, right. Now, can God change this? Yes, he can. God can change anything he wants to change at the end of the day. But this person don't seem to want to go with God. He want to serve the devil instead. God can change anybody. Anybody. Murderers, serial killers, whatever you name, he can change people at the end of the day. Their testimonies become their strength at the end of the day. Because they can say, I was this person at one point, and now I am this person at that point. He takes their flaws and all the things that made them what they are, a part of the devil in this world, and it becomes their strength. That's why I ain't embarrassed by telling people at the end of the day that I spent time. Because at the end of the day, it's that time that I spent in is how I found God at the end of the day and how I got my life together. This is what it is. It's Satan. It's creepy. It's weird. The guy's got problems. And they should have never had him in the building. They should have did some kind of test. And I don't think they did a background check on this guy at the end of the day. Yeah, this is weird. Taking pictures of himself in his underwear and sending it up to a guy. Creepy as creepy and big. Alright people, I gotta go. I got some stuff I want to do. I got my videos all uploaded, been in the park and had some fun. What time we got? We at 138, 85 degrees right now. What the heck? We got a pollen count taking off right now. No, don't even want to talk about this joker at the end of the day. Sheesh, get him out of the picture. Why is he always got to be in everything, man? Get him out of here. I don't want to look at that nonsense. Get it out of here. Give me, transfer me to something else. Let me ask for all that. Give me back over here. I'll find out what the pollen count is going to be. What's our pollen count in Allentown? Pollen count in Allentown. Oh, it's low. Okay, cool. I'll look at that. That's a bad little market. And then they put a little market, they're like, oh, pollen's going to jack you up today. They're like sneezing, carrying, choking. Like I'm bringing up another lung or something. Alright, we'll get this nonsense situated on Monday. Monday, everything's taken care of. Jamie, you're going to be taken care of on Monday. This joke will be taken care of on Monday. Once we get our documents back, we'll go to that watch list where they put people that are considered to be sexual predators. And that's where you're going, Mr. Williams. Because that's how you see you as. You're a sexual predator. That's what you are. There's no way in the world I would ever want to have my kids. I don't have any, but if I had kids, my kids going anywhere near your apartment. at all. And then what makes it even more creepier is the fact that you're posing as a minister of God, a person of the church. So that's what people get skeptical about, that soccer coaches, stuff that when people are closer to the community, if you know what I mean, yeah. And then they doing creepy stuff like that off camera, some things you don't see behind closed doors. There you go. Yeah, that creepiness. So you think about that fake minister and that weirdo stuff combined together. There you go. That's what they're dealing with in that apartment. And that's what they ignored when we told them at the end of the day that the guy had problems. So, good luck with the officer. Gotta go. See y'all later, and God bless.